That's why it's good to test, first of all. Yeah. All right. We are a couple of minutes behind. Technical difficulties being what they are, but we are here live in the Seven Figure Circle $1 Million Mastermind for what is going to be a really, really incredible masterclass. Super excited to have all of you here. Shortly, going to be having, oh, here he is, Juanpa.
What's up, Reggie? Sorry, man. I had
What's
a
up,
little
man?
trouble logging into StreamYard here, but I think I got it.
All good, man. Glad you could be here.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
Good stuff, good stuff. So, for those of you who are watching live, welcome. I encourage you to drop a comment. Make sure that you let let StreamYard have access to your Facebook account. Give it permission to share your name so we can acknowledge you by name. Don't want to do that as a mystery guest. So it just says Facebook user. And so I'm calling all of you Facebook user. I want to acknowledge you by name because you're taking the time to spend this hour with us learning and continuing to develop your craft, to grow your business, to be able to scale to the next level. So welcome all of you who are joining us. We're also going to stream this live to YouTube for some of the people there. I want to make sure we get that content over there as well. But this is exclusive for the Seven Figure Circle $1 Million Mastermind, our masterclass series. And we are so excited to have Juanpa Otalara with us here today. I'm going to let Juanpa introduce himself for just a second, but I want to preface this by the reason why we're having this class, the reason why we have master classes, is because we want to be able to dive deeper into topics in particular that people are interested in. Everybody knows that video is important, and yet I can't tell you how many times clients come to me and say, oh, I'm just not good on video. I'm not good at doing lives. I'm not good at doing video content. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, you can use video to be able to explode your business, to expand your reach, to be able to increase your revenue, get more leads, get more customers, make more sales, everything. You can do it all. Do you have to? No, of course not. You don't have to. Stay exactly where you are. But if you want to be able to grow and do more powerful things and to have a greater impact with your business, then this is going to be something you definitely want to be a part of. And take notes. If you have questions, feel free to drop questions in the comments. Again, let StreamYard give Facebook permission to say your name so we can acknowledge you, make questions one by one. All right. With that being said, Juanpa, I'm really glad to have you here with us tonight. It's not night. You're in Singapore, am I correct? Yes. So it's morning for you?
I'm actually in Colombia.
You're in Colombia. That's right. Oh, so yeah, we're on the same time zone.
Central time. It's 8 p.m. right now.
Right. There you go. So it is night.
What time zone are you?
I'm in Atlanta, so I'm Eastern time. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 9 p.m. for you. Cool.
Yeah. So not too late. All right. Well, let's dive into it, man. First of all, tell the people a little bit about yourself. I can preface it by saying you're the founder of Impact Creators. That is your organization, your company, and you help people with short form video to be able to expand their businesses. But to let people know a little bit more about that, you're going to talk a little bit about how you helped a client to take 30,000 views and turn it into 200 plus leads, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll talk a little bit more about that case study as well. But first of all, tell people a little bit about what you do. And I want to, for a brief second, kind of dive into how you got into what you're doing, because I think it's always important to give some context for what you're teaching people.
Absolutely, man. I'll get into it. I guess I'll start with that. I want to give you guys some context on how I got into this. If that's cool with you. So It started in 2015 when I worked for a flood and fire damage restoration company. And a lot of people don't know what that is unless they've had some kind of water damage or fire damage in their home. So I hope that you didn't, but if you did, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's usually quite catastrophic event in your life. And I worked for this company for 6 years, and I was the marketing guy. And so we took the company from $2.5 million to $10 million in 6 years, exclusively making videos and cold email. That was essentially what we did. We wanted to make connections with every property manager in the entire lower mainland of British Columbia. In Canada, it's where I'm from. I'm living in Colombia in South America now, but I'm Canadian. And that's where it all started. I learned how to make videos on how to create very impactful videos that showcase our expertise and also showcased our personalities using YouTube videos, and also having a mechanism that turned those viewers into clients by being in touch with them one-on-one, literally on a phone call or in a Zoom recording. And then just getting in front of as many people that were qualified in our target audience as possible using video. Then I quit. I started my own video agency in 2019. I did 1 year of kind of making videos for anybody I could get my hands on. My yoga studio, my accountant, my MLM friend, anything I could get my hands on. And then the pandemic hit in 2020. So I joined a group coaching program to kind of figure out what I was going to do, since I couldn't do more in-person filming. Joined an acting class. I did some acting school. I got married. I got divorced. I moved to Colombia, and now I'm doing this whole thing on assisting business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, experts make content. So being in the front end of actually filming with you, because I think that's where it's sort of underserved. It's the hand holding and filming and directing part of the whole process of making video. I feel like the editing part of the editing and distribution and social management, that's kind of quite covered by a lot of people now doing social media and doing all these Hermosi captions on videos. But I feel like there's a lot of underserving in like actually helping people get in front of the camera. So I'm kind of using all of my expertise from, sales, marketing, and acting, and trying to get people to drop into their character, because we're all characters. We all wear different avatars. We all wear different masks. We all have multiple personalities. We are different people when we're at home, when we're with our spouse and children, when we are in front of the camera, like we are here right now with you, Frederick. So it's just bringing awareness to understanding that we can be different persons. We are different people when we are in different circumstances. So bringing that to their awareness, and then just kind of hand holding them throughout the whole process and grounding themselves. A lot of video production is a very spiritual process, if you will, because we tend to be very heady and thinking and up in our heads consistently. So what I learned in acting was, hey, you don't need to be in your head. You don't need to think. You need to act instinctively. And in order to activate your instincts, you need to be in your body more. So it's like more things about like playing games, playing improv games, understanding your multiple personalities, and how are you going to embody that. Your identity is going to shift based on the scene, right? When you go and memorize lines for a specific character, you just have to understand how are you going to embody that character. But in this scenario for business owners is you are the character. You don't need to go and memorize some lines. You just need to project your knowledge through your body. Some of you guys may understand that, may not, but it's a very spiritual practice of activating your instincts and letting your expertise shine through your body. So that's kind of what we do as making epic reels effortlessly with ninja techniques. And it's really just playing a lot of games and very comfortable by creating that space with the client. So that's kind of what we do. So we help you film and edit and showcase your personality and highlighting your expertise to turn these views that are like all of these views, all the people that viewing these videos, these type of videos will feel something, because that's what you want. Ultimately is for them to feel something. That like humans are evolving so quickly and waking up so fast that they can cut through the bullshit, and they know whether you are connected to yourself or not. And if you are connected to yourself, that is what's going to inspire them to follow you, to like you, to comment. And those are technically, people that are interested, that are coming into your circle, into your magnetic frequency, for them to go out and reach out to them with a specific script. So then you can convert those, fans into buying customers. So I help you with the front end part of things. And then also a little bit with the back end things, like if you still need help with, scripting and figuring out how you're going to communicate your value in the direct DM conversations to turn those customers into or use them to customers.
So first of all, I love how you frame that as a spiritual activity. I think, of course, we're all spiritual beings. I think sometimes we cut ourselves off from that. And so a lot of people may be joining because they're thinking, well, this is the technical aspects of it, or this is the ninja tactics, as you put it. So I want to get all the techniques, but there's an aspect to that we also get to live into as well. But before we get there, right? So let's further illustrate for people why video is so impactful, and let's talk a little bit about some of the results that you've been able to get for your clients and what's possible for people on the back end of having gone through this process, working with you, working with me, just understanding how they can deal with the video and stuff like that to be able to be more impactful uh, when they don't even have to be there in person. But let's talk a little bit about some of the results that you've seen in working with people.
100%. So the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that is like, okay, any business, doesn't matter if you're brick and mortar or if you're online, you need attention. If you don't have attention, you don't have a business. I mean, to a certain extent, you can just have a product that is so good that people will refer you. And a lot of people will like to stay there and kind of be in survival mode, trying to feed off referrals. And that's fine. But if you want to scale your business, you're going to need attention, more and more and more attention, more than ever before. So the reason why Reels are so important right now is because all of the platforms are competing against each other. So it's like, cool, let's take advantage of them competing against each other and having their algorithm favoring this type of content. So it's like, okay, I know that if I post a reel, it's going to get 10x the amount of engagement or the 10x amount of visibility. Let's focus on what gets you the most amount of traffic for the lowest cost possible, right? So that's why I feel like video is so important right now. And if you have a business that has a mechanism in place to turn traffic into clients, then it's like absolutely no brainer. You should be on Rails because it's going to get you that traffic. And if you do the video correctly, you will get the right type of client, the right type of traffic. You get way more qualified traffic. So there's two ways of getting this type of content. You want to go either wide or not either. You should go both wide and narrow. When I say wide, it's like more widely open topics that will catch a wider net of attention, like something sensational that will capture a lot of people's attention. So it was what we call the viral video. Right? So creating those viral videos cast a wider net to get more attention. And then from that wider net, you can go narrower on more niche type of content, more specific problem solution videos. And that's what I like to focus on. It's like, what is your client's most popular problems? Let's break them down. They probably only have like 3 or 4 problems. They're just framed a little differently,
Right.
And how do you solve them? So then they can see, it's like, okay, I like how this guy solves this problem. Because a lot of people don't buy a product per se. They buy the vibes, they buy the person. They buy their resonance. And so it's like, let's get you in front of people. And let's do it. And I know that people struggle with getting in front of the camera. And I mean, I struggled so hard, man. Like, I hated myself on camera. And I still have a little bit of that inner critic in me. And I still do like 4 or 5 takes per video. And I'm getting better and better at just doing like, you know what, I'm just going to do 1 take. But we have that inner critic inside of all of us. And because we are ashamed, and it's just part of our, I tend to get very spiritual with everything that I do, including video. And it's kind of like, why? It's because we're just beginning to wake up. Like, humans have been conditioned to shame themselves over thousands of years. Nothing's ever right and everything's ever good enough. So now that we're waking up into this technology, into this new social media world, is like, oh, I have this reticular activating system in my brain preventing me from taking any kind of action because everything is danger. I'm in danger if I put a video out because I'm going to be criticized, I'm going to be ridiculed, and I will not be enough. So it's a mindset thing. But I feel like it's also like it can be sort of bypassed if you have somebody that can hold the space for you. And that's kind of what I've been teaching in some other groups, and I wanted to sort of teach you guys in today's thing, if we have enough time, on basically how to create a space where two individuals are opening their hearts completely while the camera is recording, right? With the intention of creating content. And that's what I've been kind of figuring out in the last 12 months, making this type of content for many clients. It's like, if I just open my heart, you will feel it, you know? And if I close my heart, you will also feel it. And if my heart is open, you will share more. You will be more authentic, because if we create that space, you will connect with yourself and you will connect with me. So if we have that connection, we'll have a real, true, authentic conversation. And if you are prepared with questions,
I love what you're saying. And what I want to do is I want to ask you to illustrate what it looks like when people are closed off, right? So sometimes it's really good to be able to, it's more clear sometimes when people are doing it wrong, right? And then we can talk about how you can actually unlock that to be able to open up more with people. Also, I want to encourage people. We've got people watching all the way from South Africa, everyone else who's here. Some of you can't still see your name, so give us permission to see your name. If you have questions, drop a comment below. And if you can hear us loud and clear, give us a thumbs up, give us a 1 in the comments, and let us know. But yeah, Juan, what are some ways that people are doing it wrong, where they're not opening their hearts, they are locked up, and so they're not able to really connect with the audience in a good way?
Great question. So the first thing that comes to mind is, well, people are just not doing it, period. I think that most people are just not doing it. It's like, they'll find any excuse in the book to go and do something else except to make a video. Because if you make a video, it doesn't really take that long, really, but it's the inner critic that is just going to be hammering you that this is not good enough, or the sound is not good enough, or, oh, my camera's not good enough. And, oh, I don't know my topics. I don't really know where to start. I don't know what I'm going to say. So I would say, like, just not even getting started. I think that's the main problem here. And the people that are doing it, I like to I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, it's just getting it done, just getting out and doing it. And even if you're doing it wrong, just consistently doing it more and more. So you can basically get better and better at it, and befriend your inner critic. I think it comes down to is acknowledging that you have an inner critic. And then secondly, to make friends with your inner critic.
What are some of the things that your inner critic might be saying to you that's kind of keeping you from actually showing up?
For me personally, it's the pitch of my voice. I don't like to pitch my voice when I'm listening to myself. And it's like, and it's funny, right? Because you're like, it's silly. It's so silly, right? It's like, are you kidding me? So the pitch of my voice, the angle, depending on the camera angle, is like, oh, I don't look that good in that angle, right?
right.
So it's like, it's so funny now that you actually say, like, I'm saying this out loud in front of an audience right now. It is silly, but I bet you a lot of people would resonate with that. It's like, I just don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look on camera. Is this really what I look like? Right. So getting used to it, getting used to what you sound and look like, I think it's key to overcoming that inner critic. And then just befriending your inner critic. Like, it's like, you know what? I agree with you. Maybe it's not the greatest video I made, but I know that I'm better today than I was yesterday.
Right.
And just kind of having that talk track. Right. So, okay. The next thing that's coming up for me, though, is there are some videos sometimes in some scenarios that I would say, dude, like, don't put that up. And it comes from a place where you do need to be in the right energy to record a video and be intentional about that video. Because I've seen coaches and I've seen business owners that are trying to do what I'm saying, like, get over your inner critic, just put it out and get better. But when you're going to do that, just be in the right space, in the right mind space, and be with the right intention, so you can inspire other people. Because I've seen a video where it totally did damage their reputation, at least in my eyes. I saw them as like this incredible coach, and all of a sudden they shared a video that was very vulnerable, and I appreciate vulnerability, but it was also very low energy. So then I was like, oh, I just felt the drop in my stomach here. I was like, oh, dude, like now I totally see you differently. So there is a fine line between like go out and put up a video and get better, and not showing up in low energy, because it could potentially damage your brand. So I would say that if you are going to show up on video, be intentional about it and be inspiring about it. That should be the two things.
That sounds like kind of a mindset around being generous with what you're doing. So what I take away from that is that if you're thinking about yourself, right, and how you look and how you feel, etc., and you're not thinking about your audience, it's as if you and I were having a conversation, but I'm just kind of looking down the whole time, and I'm thinking, well, I don't want Juanpa to notice that my left ear is bigger than my right ear, and I don't want, and so there's this kind of, but if I'm telling you something I know is really important, like, Juan, I know you love brown hats. I know exactly where you can find another brown hat, man. And I'm not concerned about whether I'm hoarse, whether my video is out of focus, whatever, but I'm really, really passionate about telling you, go down the street, take a right here. All you got to do is take a look at the shop. It's got the brown hat shop. It's going to have all the hats that you ever wanted for your life. Am I on the right track there?
Exactly. If you're being intentional and inspiring, right? Because there are, and that's again, came to mind, is like my motto is like, bro, just go do it. Make videos, you're going to get better at it, right? If you need help, we can guide you. That's cool. But I want you to be able to do it on your own. But I guess the fine line is just don't do it if you are on a bad mood or in a bad vibe or in a negative situation, even though you want to share your story or whatever. People will feel the energy through the video. So I think what I'm trying to say is like, check in with your energy, check in with yourself, connect with yourself, and be intentional with the message. So when you're saying it's like, here, I want you to go and, this is the direction you got to take to your destination, then let that be the intention of the video. But don't show up just for showing up in a low vibe. So I think that would be the only thing that that I've seen people doing wrong, is just sharing the wrong information intentionally, unintentionally. And I guess the next thing from there is I see, and this is maybe a little bit more advanced information, but I see a lot of coaches now clipping longer form content into short form. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah. And sometimes it's completely out of context. So it confuses your audience too. If it's not done right, if that repurposing is not done right, could also damage a little bit of your reputation, because again, it's what people are feeling. And if people are seeing that you're just cutting stuff up randomly, they will feel that. They will be like, oh, this is just some random thing that it made no sense and it's not in alignment to your brand, and you just want to repurpose content just to get views. So I feel like that's another thing that's coming up for me right now. It's like, man, like what? Let's prepare. Let's actually have a key takeaway they can go and implement. Looking straight into the camera and speak to them so they will feel your energy. Yeah. So I think those are the three things.
No, that's really good. That's really good. Charlie's asked us a couple of questions in the comments as well. So I'll pop that up here and we can say, how would one prepare to do a video? Right. So I guess the fundamentals, you talked a little bit about the mindset and the headspace you need to be in, but what are some of the other things that people need to be thinking about before they even get started?
Excellent question. And yeah, that's one of the main problems that people have, I think, in the business space is, I don't know where to start. Like, how do I start? Like, how do I prepare for a video? Great question. And so the first thing that I would do is think about your favorite client, like your favorite customer. Again, it could be a yoga studio, it could be an accountant or a lawyer, it could be an online coach. You have a client that you already work with. and that you really enjoy working with. Like that's your ideal client. Like I have one, her name is Donna, and I'm like, I wish I had like 50 Donnas and that's it. Like I would just love to work with Donnas, right?
Mm,
So that's the first thing I would do is like think about your number one client, your favorite client, and then structure conversations around your client. So
mhm,
what are their pain points? What are their clients' pain points? Like and and write a list of all of your clients' problems, and then write a solution slash transformation on how you specifically solve those problems.
mm,
So I think that would be the first thing is think about your ideal client. What are they struggling with and how you can help them? And then just
mm,
write a list of like 3 or 5 things. And that's where I would start. And then every other video really it can mushroom from there. It'll be a similar idea or a similar framing, but that would
mhm,
be the core of pretty much all of the videos that you will produce. It's you're going to be repeating yourself. I think it was Ed Milet that said that recently. It's like experts repeat themselves a million times. They just say the same thing over and over again, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
if you have that mindset, is like I know that I'm going to repeat myself 100 times. I'm going to say the same thing in different ways. As long as I'm addressing my clients' problems and how I solve them, and I would begin with thinking about your favorite clients. So then in your mind, you're speaking to them. So when I'm making videos, I'm thinking of Donna. Like, hey Donna, like I know you have this problem, and I know I can solve it. So then you're speaking to one person, one problem,
Right.
one solution.
I like that. One person, one problem, one solution. Charlie asks, Charlie, you keep coming with the questions. You got more. All right. So is making a video similar to public speaking? How would you phrase that?
I would say no. Public speaking is a very different thing because when you doing public speaking, it's a different scenario. It's a different field of play altogether. You are in front of
Mm,
an audience, a real live audience. You are under pressure. You are performing under pressure. Your avatar, your alter ego, is one that it should be performing without mistakes because you are literally live. Now, when you're making a video, you can do multiple takes. So when I was filming a music video. I filmed a bunch of music videos where I filmed a play once and like a short film. We
mm,
can make mistakes. We can go cut, start that again. So it's a totally different dynamic when you're making a video. It's pre-recorded. It's um, like I would say like this is more of a public speaking scenario, even though it's a virtual scenario. You and I
mm,
here, like I'm not going to retake what I'm going to say. I'm just going to run with it because my persona right now is one that it's under pressure because I'm performing under the light. I have my light shine on right now,
mm.
and we have an audience, and I will just continue. When you're making a video, it's more prepared and it's
Right.
more multiple takes, and then there's editing and post production, so you can cut it up. So I would say it's different, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And then he wants to know what is the best way to condense long content to shorter. You talked about context a little bit. What else would you say on top of that?
Oh, this is a pretty deep topic, but I would say hire a really good video editor that understands marketing, not just a
Mm,
video editor that understands editing, but that
right.
understands contextually what your brand message is about, and that can clip up the best parts um, to create an experience for the person to get something to take away,
Hmm.
as opposed to just clipping random things.
Right.
There are AI tools now that will help you do this because long form into short form, it's a very tedious task to go through hours of content and trying to figure out what's valuable and what's not. So there are different. There's one, I'll give it to you guys, is video.io with a Y.
Hmm.
So video, the second I is not an I, it's a Y. So video with a Y dot AI will help you actually. The AI will attempt to find what's valuable. You still have to throw it, but it will save you about 50% of the time. So
Yeah. Yeah. I've used that one as well. I think if I was to add anything to that too, I think that the thing is a lot of it goes back to the foundational. A lot of people focus on the video itself and they don't do the pre work, right? You talked about your client, knowing their pain points, knowing what you're speaking to, right? A lot of people, even now, they're using AI and chat GPT and things like this to be able to generate just topics, random topics or whatever. But if you have not done the work, if you don't really understand your clients, there's a lot of things that go unsaid that they may not even tell you. You need to know what they're thinking and what they're feeling. And the better you can articulate what those things are. And you talked about this, Juan, about being able to connect with them emotionally, right? So I love that's why you're talking about it being a spiritual practice and things of that nature, because if you're connecting with somebody emotionally, you're able to go deeper than words. You're able to go, that's the power of video to me, is that you can use your voice and your expressions and gestures and other special effects. You can bring that in, but we become the human special effects in a lot of ways because we can connect with people on that level. But if you have not done that work beforehand, then you're still being lazy. And so, we're here to help you understand the power of video, but video alone is not the only power. It is a magnifier for all the other work that you've done. What would you say to that, Juan?
Well, I love that what you just said. It's a magnifier of you, of your personality, of everything you've done. Absolutely. So yeah, I see that a lot. I see a lot of content that is they're just making video for the sake of making video, and you can feel it. So back to the spiritual context is like people are waking, are really starting to understand the connection of themselves, as opposed to continuously try to people please, or like overserve, or like I just want to give you everything. And it's like, no, what people are looking for is the connection you have with yourself. And that's what they resonate with. And maybe unconsciously, like maybe the stuff that I'm saying right now for some of the viewers is like, what is he talking about? But that's truly what the human experience is all about. It's about connecting with each other. And in my opinion, and I think quantum physics has pretty much proven it now, that everything is consciousness. Even this computer, even this camera, even this tripod, everything, this table has it's oscillating vibrations, and everything is just connected to each other. So if you think of that, even AI is consciousness. And if you think of consciousness as a bigger thing, it's like then God is all of it. We are all one. I'm getting way out of context here, but it's all one. So if you are communicating through this camera lens, like I can feel you, by the way, right. Frederick, I can feel you. I can feel energy. So because I'm really tapped in, but people are beginning to wake up and say, shit, I can feel this. And that's what makes a video viral. It's how are the people making you feel? So if you're creating content for the sake of creating content, people will feel it, and it was not going to be as engaging. The AI and the algorithm will also pick it up because it's all consciousness, and we'll see that your message is not as potent because it's not as connected to yourself as it should be. So that's why I feel like prepping, connecting with yourself, understanding your clients' pain points, and really from the heart delivering the best solution you can is what's going to make the content convert into paying clients.
I agree. Let's talk a little bit about some of the work that you've done and how that is translated. You want to give us a story or a case study that kind of illustrates the power of video when you're doing it the right way?
For sure. So I think there's a little thing here I can share, right? It says present. Let me see if I can, share screen.
Yep.
Cool. So I think it's, I think I can just do that. Cool. I think you guys be able to see my screen, right?
Me add it. There you go. Cool.
So yes, video is important. You can also make really crappy video, but as long as you do it consistently, you will get traffic and you will get conversions. It'll work regardless. I'm just, pinpointing some of the additional things that I see from my spiritual point of view, but still making crappy videos is still going to get you views, still going to get you seen, which is the most important, is getting the attention, right? But going a little bit deeper on how to turn views into clients and into fans and into customers is having these elements here. So you have to have a good offer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have an incredible offer that people will feel stupid saying no to. Alex Hermosi, $100 million offer. You have to have a good offer. You have to have the mindset of a CEO or a salesperson. All of this video stuff we're talking about is video marketing. So it's all contextual to business. And business is generating income, generating a profit. So having an offer that's profitable, that's a no-brainer, having the mindset of a CEO and a salesperson, they're the two main components of the system. And then essentially just having content that turns into leads, and then you turn them into appointments. And how do you do that? Is by having a conversion mechanism. So you have a short form content, a piece of content, a video that has a call to action. And usually the call to action, you want it to be like, you don't want to ask somebody to marry you on the first date. The first time they see you is like, hey, would you like to marry me? Likely people are going to say no. But if you say, hey, would you like to go for a cup of coffee?
Right.
So you want the CTA to be like, hey, come join my free community, or hey, download my guide or my whatever, right? So lead magnet or whatever. But I find like communities is where people really people are starting to build communities. People are starting to come together. So it's like, oh, I can join this group community. And inside the group community, you can get their email anyway. And you can send them a lead magnet anyway, right? And you send them a video, a DM video specific to them. It's like, hey, I see that you're doing this thing and I can help you fix it. Would you like to learn how I can fix it for you? And then you book a call, and this is all numbers game. So this, for every 1 in 10, they'll say yes. So putting out a lot of content, putting a lot of short form content is going to get a lot of visibility. A lot of visibility is going to turn into more followers and friends. And then knowing that you can invite each one of them into your community and send them a private message that is specific to their avatar. So you want to go into their profile and engage them, right? It's like, oh, I see that Frederick's doing this. I see that he's in alignment with what I'm doing. Let me see what he's doing. Oh, okay, cool. I think that I can help him. I don't know yet, but let's see if we can have a discovery call or something, right? So you say, hey, I can help you. I think I can help you, but I'm not sure. So let's get to know each other a little bit and let's hop on this 15-minute call, right?
Right.
And then you do the two-step close. You have a 15-minute call, and then if and how I can help you, then let's schedule a full strategy call, and I can just tell you exactly what you need to do. Is that cool? Yes. And then you close it. So it's just having the same mechanism, except what we're doing here with short form is just getting a lot more attention. A lot of people think that they just need short form just to get attention. But if you don't have these elements, if you don't have an offer, if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have a mechanism to turn these followers into appointments and having an irresistible offer to close them, then you're not going to make any money just with the short form. So you need the short form, and you also need this mechanism. So to show you, this was Anthony. So with him, he's got a system. He's a 7-figure coach. He already has the system. And so we posted 8 videos. We got 30,000, close to 40,000 views, and those turned into 200 friend requests and followers. So we just really focused on, we did TikTok and YouTube too, but he's really into Facebook and Instagram. So these leads are just from Facebook and Instagram, from friend requests and new follows. And he has a system to DM every single one of them to invite them into his community. And then inside his community, he has a welcome email, a welcome message, and a DM script that gets them to get into an appointment with him. And out of the 200 leads, he closed like 4 clients, basically, with his system. But the cool thing is that we were able to generate the views, the qualified views. So like, having a compelling hook is also very important. So like all of these are the hooks on the video, and having them on the video itself and also in the post. So when you actually post it, both the hook should be both on the video and on the post itself, and also with the link of going into the community on the comment. So we always said, hey, the community is right on the post. Make sure you join, right? So having that CTA. And so these are just some samples of some videos that went viral. And then from there, we had clients say, hey, I saw your reels and I loved working with you and I wanted to know more about you. But the reel's not going to do the selling. It'll help doing the selling because they're going to get to know you, like you, trust you, showcase your personality and expertise. But then you have to do the back end work and know how to turn these people into your community, into raving fans, and into paying customers, having an irresistible offer.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. So having a irresistible offer, having a mindset of a CEO, have a clear process in turning traffic into friends, followers, and buying customers, having a group community funnel, and a proven messenger framework. And that's how we made him $36,000.
Yeah, that's really good. I noticed that for a lot of people.
There you go.
There we go. I noticed for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's the one thing that they lack is a consistent sales process, right? I mean, what we're really talking about is sales. And I think a lot of people think they get attracted to the idea of video because it feels like it's not really sales and marketing, right? Or they think that that's the totality of it all, right? If I just do video, then that's my sales and marketing. People will magically send me money through the DMs or comments or whatever. And that's, you need the pre, like you were saying, the setup, and you need the process, the funnel, if you will. And you were in construction when you started doing this, right? That's a funnel that works really well for coaches and consultants, people who are selling like online services or things of that nature, right? Maybe even an accountant or someone like that could use a very similar process. If you were in construction or if you had a more of a brick and mortar business, how would you tweak this process to be able to get the same thing? Because there's still a process that's involved, but how would you utilize a video? What would change about it, if anything, to be able to curate the same sort of results, right? Where you end up with a new client or a new customer because they have encountered you and your business through video.
Well, I would say it would be essentially the same process. I don't think it. Oh, I saw the comment there from. This is cool. This is my first time on StreamYard, by the way. It's cool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wow, nuggets indeed. Awesome, Charlie. I'm glad you're finding this valuable. If you were a lawyer, so I work with a lawyer right now, and we have the same strategy going. So I would say it doesn't really change. It's just I don't think it would change, to be honest. I think you should still have a group community. I think you should still have videos going out and across all platforms, some way, somehow that you can nurture them through email, like getting their email through giving them a valuable downloadable guide or some kind of free training. Again, not asking them to marry you, but just get them in your ecosystem so you can email them. You can follow up with them on Messenger. You can follow them on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is huge for Brian. We're doing now LinkedIn and knowing that people engage on his videos on LinkedIn. So it's the same thing. I think the only thing that would change is, and this would change for every client, is like customizing the DM script and then just getting to a hard yes or a hard no instead of this wishy-washy conversation that I see happening all the time. It's like people just having conversations and not having any clarity where we're going with this conversation. It's like, oh, I love your photo, I love your dog, and like cool, like cool vibes. And it's like, okay, and then now what? Like move them onto the next stage and the next stage until they either delete you or unfollow you. Like, you know, it's the mindset of like, I'm here on a mission. My purpose is to grow my business and help the people that are willing to work with me. And if you don't want to work with me, that's awesome. But you want to get them to say no. Not like, oh, he read my message, but he didn't respond. And I sent him a follow-up and he still read the message, but he didn't respond. So it's like, brother, I need you to tell me no, like right now. And it's funny when you get to the bottom of that, on the funnel, when you're like message them 8 times and they say, I'm actually interested. It's funny how that happens sometimes. You're like, they haven't said anything because they haven't said no. But in the back of their minds, they actually want to work with you. So you reinforce their beliefs and you shift their beliefs through your content. So they're saying no, or they're not responding, but you keep addressing their problems and how you solve them daily through short form content. And then you're basically selling them to come and meet with you in person through the content. So even if you're in construction, you're a lawyer, you're a dentist, you want to continuously show them the problems that come up, that clients come up, and how you solve them. And then as long as you're selling the problem, eventually the person will buy, or they'll just like, you know what, I just don't like their vibe. And then they just cancel you. That's fine. But it's just that consistency and that mindset of resilience, making content daily.
Yeah, one thing that I always tell my clients, no matter what business you're in, I think particularly if you're a coach or whatever, but especially in the sales process, when you're thinking about it as a business owner, it's about leadership, right? And you got to lead people to the point of a decision, right? That's one of my coaches. That was his definition for sales. It's a series of questions designed to lead a person to a point of a decision. Because what you said is very true. Like, we're just spinning our wheels here if we're not moving anywhere. So let's lead our clients, our prospects, our audience to make a decision. The decision can be to watch another video. It can be to join the Facebook group. It can be to send an email. It can be to download, whatever, but move people forward, because otherwise you're just putting out cat videos. It might as well be, because you're not doing anything. You're not taking anybody anywhere. And so I love that point. You know, a hard yes or a hard no leaves everybody better off, because who has the time to be wading through endless DMs and emails that don't talk about anything and don't really lead you anywhere, right? So I think that's a really great point. And again, I want to acknowledge everyone who's been here in the masterclass so far. You guys have been really great. Drop a 1 in the comments if this has been valuable for you. If you've learned something new, if you've seen a new perspective, you want to make sure that we are appreciating Juan for what he's dropping on us here as well. And then let's talk about a couple other technical aspects of it as well. You talked about, Juan, creating viral videos. What are some things that people can do? Maybe some subtle things, even in the spiritual aspect, or it could be technical, right? What are some things that people can do that they may not think is important, but is really necessary to make your videos be more attractive and to go viral?
Yes. So 2 things right away that came up when you said that was format, and then I'll get into the second one. But so format. So think about the format of the video that you feel like you would be the best at. So there could be like, you could even be like have a comedic or like a funny video, right? Like if you're a really funny person, showcase your funny part of you, right? Or maybe you are more of an interview person. Like you like to interview people. You're more of the, what is it? Russell Brunson calls it the interviewer, or the media person. How do you call that? I forgot the name.
Oh, no, but now I'm going blank. I know what you mean. Yes.
You know what I'm saying, right? It's like oh man, I totally lost the word, but like you can be you're not the main person, but you're interviewing the main person. So you can be it'll come to me later, but find your format. If you're going to be the talking head guy, if you're going to be the comedic guy, if you're going to be, you can do a skit. I see a lot of people doing skits, right? Do that. If you want to do dancing videos because you feel more comfortable, do the dancing videos. Like, don't hold yourself back from any type of format that you are comfortable with. So I would say because if you're comfortable with specific format and that's your style, run with it. And then don't get married to it either. Try other things. If you think like, okay, I kind of exhausted the TikTok dancing. Okay, now let's try talking to the camera. Or maybe I'm not comfortable talking to the camera. Maybe I'll interview somebody. Or maybe have somebody interview me, right? So find the format that you'd be more comfortable with, run with it, and then start shifting things around and try different things. Because that's what's going to connect with people. It's your intention, right? So if I've seen dancing videos that have 1 million views. I see them in my feed all the time, and they're actually very powerful. I'm just not into the dancing thing myself because I feel like it's a ton of work. Like, it's a lot more work for me personally to do the dancing. And then editing all of these captions, like it takes a lifetime. I'd just rather just like turn the camera and speak. It's just, for me, it's just ease and speed. Right. So whatever you feel like it. But if you're really into like dancing and texting the whole thing, do it. um, whatever format it's more that resonates with you. And number two is how do I say this? So it's all about the feel, right? Like been talking about connecting with yourself and stuff. So think about the message, but think about how the other person's going to feel. So don't think about so much about what you're going to say, but think about more of how the person will feel. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like making a message that it's going to impact them with emotion, because you give them a tangible thing and you also give it all with your heart. So both. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to give you value because I just want to say this thing and get it out of the way. It's like, no, like internalize this and feel it yourself, and then pour your heart into it. And then that's what people will feel. Even if it's, even if you stumble with your words, I think people actually like that. If you make a mistake on video, they're like, oh, well, he's human, or like, oh, he made a mistake. I like it. It like people fall in love with these little things, right? Like when you're in relationships, when you with your wife, with my girlfriend, I'm like all of the things, all of the mistakes she makes is what makes me like her more. Like, oh, she's actually trying, or she made a mistake but she ran with it. It's like, oh, that is so cute. Like for me anyway, it's like when I see the flaws, I think the flaws is what makes people fall in love with each other, because it's what makes you human. So like just thinking about those things, like, okay, how do you think that person will feel by giving them this information? How am I, showing up? How am I connected with myself to deliver this information? And even if it has mistakes, or flaws, I think that's what people will actually resonate with you with.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think that you mentioned the fact that about connection, right? And ultimately, that's what we want to do. We want to connect people. We haven't really talked about the branding aspect of it, but one of the reasons why you have influencers in social media spaces, right, that have been able to build the brands that they have is because they have connected with people emotionally, right? Somebody said it here, vulnerability and authenticity, right? And to be human is to be flawed, right? To be perfectly human is to be perfectly flawed. So Kelly said, sometimes I feel like my videos have to be perfect, but mess ups show that I'm a real person. Absolutely, Kelly. Juan co-signs what you're saying 100%. All right. So as we're getting close to wrapping up, what are some other tips, tactics, hacks that people might not think about, might not think are important, or might be overlooking because it seems too obvious, right? Because I know you've worked with a lot of clients and you've seen people make mistakes before they've come to you. What are some things that sometimes you have to correct? Maybe one or two common things that you see.
Okay. So when I just think about my last recording with Brian, for example, he's a estate planning lawyer in New York. Very, very good lawyer. He's been doing it for 25 years. People absolutely love him. But he has a major inner critic, and he's like, I don't even want to see these videos, Juanpa. Like I hate them already. And I'm like, okay, we haven't even. And so it's like, yeah, I guess it's just like loving yourself a little bit. Like, I don't even know how to address that point, but it's like getting the videos done. And I think, and what I want to give you guys is like having assistance. I think, yes, you can do all this on your own, but I think just hiring somebody that can help you, whether it's me or somebody else, or what I encourage you to do, and I challenge you to do it, is to find somebody that you really trust and ask them to help you.
Right.
Like, and we did this in a group. I spoke in another group last week with a bunch of folks from the UK, and it was really cool. Actually, I was quite impressed, and they were all like 50 plus too. So they just don't feel the camera thing, right? And they're like, Juanpa, how do we get on camera? And so what I did for that particular training, it was, okay, why don't we do conversational videos so we can create a space that is safe. So it's basically what I do with my clients when we do our interview style type of videos. And so we broke them out into breakout rooms and having the privacy. So having privacy is very important, having a safe space to do it, and having somebody that's willing to open their heart. So that was the challenge, is find somebody that it's willing to open their heart in a private space with you and ask you one power question. And the power question is, what is your client's favorite? What are your client's most popular problem, and how do you solve it? And then have them listen intentionally with their heart open. And then from there, when they answer the question, dig deeper and just ask, what do you mean by that? So ask the power question, let them answer, and just say, what do you mean by that? And then that second question, they're going to re-articulate what they're going to say. As long as you have your camera recording, you can create incredible content that is open-hearted with your favorite friend or partner or spouse. That I don't know if I would do it with my spouse personally, but I would do it with somebody that understands business, or that it's maybe your spouse understands business. I'm just saying somebody that is a trusty confidant in your business life, like somebody in the coaching space, maybe that's like, hey, can we do an exchange? Can we help each other make content by creating a safe space to ask about our clients' problems and how we solve them? And then as long as you have that intentionality and an open heart, people will, you'll be able to partner up with somebody and record incredible, authentic content. And then from there, then you do need to find an editor that's going to clip that up for you, or you can edit it yourself. Like, honestly, like, I recommend CapCut on your smartphone. First of all, I recommend you do the Zoom recording with your client or with your friend, and then also record it on your smartphone at the same time. So then you would strategically place your phone like this next to the webcam. And so you have this connection that you and I have here, for example, Frederick. But let's say if I had my phone recording this whole time, I would have probably recorded a lot of great content here, having my camera here facing me, right? And so it's kind of recording a little bit side of my face, but I'm still connecting with you. Right. Having the content recorded on your smartphone, having strategically placed next to your webcam, and then stop the recording, boom, and then go into CapCut, and then CapCut, free, you can create a new project, and then it'll identify the empty spaces, and it cuts out the empty spaces, and it'll auto-generate all the captions. So sure, you can source an editor. It'll take a little bit longer, but hey, if you want to try it, I would say record yourself with a friend on your smartphone during a Zoom recording, and then upload it directly to CapCut on your phone, edit it on the phone, and then upload it right away onto your socials. So that way it's efficient, it's fast, and you're getting it out as quickly as you can.
I'm holding up my phone now. So let's try and do that.
Do you have a tripod?
I do, actually. Well, I have a little, what you call it, that I'm breaking as we do it. All right, so this is good.
Also recommend a lapel microphone. Is only $20 because sound is very important. We're auditory creatures, and if we hear a screechy sound, the brain hurts, so people move on and scroll into the next video. So we want to avoid that by having a mic that has good quality sound. So we just go like that.
Cool.
I'm gonna clip this like this on my t-shirt.
All right.
So it's facing
if you're
up.
watching this live or watching this on the replay, you should be pulling out your phone and doing it now, right? Take action immediately.
Exactly. And if you don't have a tripod, stack some books or something, so you're at eye level. You want to be at eye level with the camera lens. You want to have about your hand facing up with the space for the framing above you, and you want to have your phone on vertical, first of all, not landscape, vertical. Have enough space. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick selfie, and then I'll just show it to you guys.
I'm gonna turn on the light.
Okay, and so I have my elbows in the frame. I have a bit of space in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a photo of myself here with a timer of 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, now I want to show you guys the photo. So this is what you're framing. This is what you want your framing to look like. Let me see if I can.
So basically from your sternum to the top of your head.
So as you can see, I have some space above my head. I have my elbows in the frame. And then I have about, on each side of my head, I have enough space for another head. So I can have 3 heads and right. And then like space above. And then, so that's the framing you want. So that's what I had when I had it in place here. So if I go to camera, I go to video, it's in selfie mode. Clean the lens too. Sometimes it's smudgy, right? Because, you know, we have grease in our face. Clean the lens. Let me do that.
Don't want a smudgy video. There we go.
Clean the lens. Place it in front of your webcam. I recommend this Jobby. It's called a Jobby Monster. It's super strong and flexible. And you can just put it like that. And then it has this little swivel. So it's you can easily lock it in place. And I'm going to go ahead and press record. I have my lapel mic plugged in. And I'm looking at the camera lens on my smartphone right now. But my intention now is to shift my attention to the webcam and connect with Frederick. So I'm going to leave the camera here. It's going to be a little blurry for you guys over here. But again, we're doing this as an exercise kind of on a whim here. But let's see. I'm going to look at Frederick. There we go.
Yeah, I got to get a Jobby because my framing is not right.
You can still do it with the side of your face. It's okay. But ideally, you want to get it as close as possible to the webcam.
Yeah, that's the problem. Mine is all bendy. All right, well, that's not bad at all. Okay, great. Perfect. All right, so what's another great tip that we can use? You've actually given us two very good ones.
So like this, basically setting it up like this. I'm recording right now. So you can ask me any questions about my clients or something, and then I would respond to them in a conversational style, because I know that you're listening, you're intentional, and you have a heart open. Right. And then you dig deep and you keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper as to why. Like, what is the problem? Can you rephrase that again? What do you mean by that? Okay, I understood this. Is this what so you reiterate what they're saying. And it's just basically making all about, I keep asking questions so they can continue to re-articulate what they're trying to say. And then they come to a conclusion. And within the first, 15 minutes, you have probably 2 or 3 really good videos doing this particular exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. And then the next one is what I would do. And this is what we do with our clients too, is take that recording with your friend and then go back and watch it. You're going to clip up some videos. But then from there, you're going to be able to come up with very specific hooks, right? So, by the way, Hook Point is a book that you should read. Everybody in marketing should read the book. It's called Hook Point. I forget the author, but it's called Hook Point.
Brendan Kane. Brendan
Kane, that's right. Yeah, it's a very long book, but it explains the power. Like basically, marketing is just hooks, if you think about it. Like if you read a magazine, you buy the magazine because of the hook on the magazine. You read an article because of the hook of the article. So understanding hooks that are sensational enough that get people to stop scrolling so they can watch the rest of the video. So when we do the conversational ones, we have a framework. So I'm going to give this framework to you guys right now. And I think it's going to be super powerful. If you guys want to take a screenshot, I'm going to share my screen real quick. And this is it. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. Can you see the screen?
Not yet. Oh, here we go. Okay. because I didn't add it. There you go.
Cool. So, for example, with Brian, and I can give you guys this for free. I usually this is one of my like low ticket offers for $17, but I'll just give it to you guys for free. I'll just send it to Frederick, and he send it to you guys. And so I send you this this Notion document. Make sure you go and make a copy. So I'll send you the link, and you can make a copy. And this is kind of what we use for our clients. Down here we have resources, so you can have like what is the short form video framework, which is hook or rehook, statement, solution, transformation, call to action. You have some resources on camera composition, sound and lighting, and recording. So you guys can go through that. And hook templates. So here I have hundreds of different hooks that you can use that are somewhat sensational or very basic as well. And then I have also hook examples. So like actually examples. It starts with the basics, you know, 3 things you need to know about finding your purpose. So it could be as simple as that. Or, hey, let's talk about your gut. Or 3 things or 3 tips on how to get X result without pain. So 3 tips on how to lose belly fat and get a fit body without cutting brownies. So that could be a good hook. Let me let you in a little secret. You overthinking it. The thing is, the thing is, so that's a good hook. The thing is, hear me out. The thing is, being fit will make you richer. Hear me out, right? So you controversial a little bit. So that's what you want to do with the hook. So you guys can have this template here. And then as far as Brian's, so here I break down like avatars and questions. You can also use this for interview questions. They're very general. I mean, these are more for lawyers, of course, but you can turn some of these questions for your friend to ask you. And then I break it down into pain points. But I think what would be more valuable to you guys is the actual framework here with the actual examples that we did for Brian. So hook, what is the problem? Solution, what is the solution? So you want to say that within the first 10 seconds. Hook, solution. And that's going to catch their attention to watch the rest. And then you go into the transformation, how to solve the problem. And if there's any steps that you like to outline, then you say steps 1 through 3. And then the CTA is usually follow for more or download some kind of free resource or join my free community. So as long as you follow this, you'll have really great success. Brian ended up actually filling out a separate document with his answers. So I wrote the hook for them. So the red, so it's estate planning. So for example, most seniors don't do this and it's hurting their families. That's the hook. Right away, the solution is, well, you got to take the time to prepare for care. You got to establish an elder care protection plan. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Hey, contact us for more if you need help with this. And then we start getting a lot more sensational, like want to avoid a large tax bill. Listen up. You know, you need to have this irrevocable trust thing. I learned a lot from recording a lot of clients. I'm like, okay. Warning, you're not protected, right? Okay. So this is very specific to estate planning, but think about this framework for your business. Disclaimer, you're going to die. That's a good one. A huge red flag, declining capacity and how to deal with it. So this is all about estate planning. So think about using this framework for your own problem solution that you offer to your clients, and it's color coded so you can just fill it in. And then for these ones, then I would also have somebody help you, direct you to give you the lines. So you prepare yourself. So it's kind of like you're preparing for a play or preparing for an audition. So you're memorizing your lines. But then remember, they don't need to be said verbatim. You can ad-lib them. You can ad-lib. And just to give you an example, and I'll go into more of the deeper ones. This is I don't know if you can hear the audio. Hopefully you can. But this is Brian speaking into the camera, and I'm feeding him the lines. I'm feeding him the line, and he's saying it into the camera. And then there's a pause in between lines, and then he's like, "What's the next line?" This is the next line, and I feed it to him. Action, and he says the next line, and then he doesn't say the line exactly. He says he kind of ad libs and regurgitates what I just said. in his own words.
Mhm.
Can you hear the sound if I play this?
No, we can't hear the sound. You might need to enable it in the settings.
Let me see.
And we can see if you can do that.
Settings, mirror my camera, audio. I know that you can do that in Zoom, but when I go to present, I click on share screen.
Let me see.
Oh, some screens let you share audio. Look for the share audio checkbox. Follow these steps. Okay. Yeah, I can.
Can you tell
Share
this is
screen.
live, everybody?
Oh, okay. So if I share just that one screen, I can share the audio. Got it. So
Okay.
I'm going to share that specific screen.
Okay.
And then it'll work, I think. Share. Can you hear now?
Still no audio. Let me.
If I go, I have to go to Chrome tab, my audio. Oh, let me
It's good.
stop
We're
sharing.
actually seeing how we can do this too, because we can do live video. I'm learning from you doing this.
Present. Oh, present video file. Oh, but that's if I present a video file. Present, share screen, audio file steps. So share screen. And if I go to window, I think I have to go to a specific tab. It can't be a window. It has to be the tab. So the tab is scripted Google Drive. Aha. Okay, I think that might actually work now. Ready?
Mistakes.
Let's see.
Time and make
Yep, we can hear it.
You can hear it. Ah, we figured it out. Okay, so it has to be tab, not screen when you're doing the sharing. Okay, let's hear Brian. So what estate planning truly means is the hook. And he's literally speaking into the camera and I'm feeding him the lines. But remember, this is already edited. So it's all cut up. So here we go.
what estate planning truly means. It means avoiding costly mistakes. Taking the time and making the investment into a proper and comprehensive estate plan is one of the best things that you could do for yourself and your family. It means you care enough to provide for your family. It means you want to protect your assets. And it means that you want peace of mind knowing that things are settled and taken care of. To avoid costly mistakes, contact us and we'll make sure that we put the right estate plan in place for you. Reach out to us today or download the guidebook in my bio.
Boom.
And how many different takes would you say that is?
That was one take.
Well, I mean, what I mean is how many different lines did you have to feed him that you cut together?
At the beginning, I had to feed him every line. And then after like 3 or 4 videos, he was like, oh, I get it. And he was just like giving me sass, you know? He was like, I got it, right? So I was like, he just literally, I just shared the screen and then he was literally on his own. Like, I'm just there to kind of push you off. And then you're going to like really struggle at the beginning. But then I'm holding you accountable and you're paying me to sit there. So then they're like, I got to do this. And then, but also energetically being supportive and very compassionate and super empathetic and you cannot criticize anybody at all, ever. You have to just, like, if they ask you how you feel, it's like, well, I don't know. How do you feel? Like, it doesn't matter what I think, what matters is how you feel. So it's like being that empathetic coach as well. I think that makes a big difference. So at the beginning, I was like feeding him the line. And even I knew that the first 2 videos were horrible. I would be like, great job. Let's move on to the next one. And then I want to get him to get on those training wheels so then I can eventually take him off right on the call. And then within 5-6 videos, then he's like, oh, I got this. And then he did like 20 videos on his own. And he finished exhausted. But I was like, hold on, Brian. I want to do the first 2 videos again because they were a little choppy. Is that cool with you? I love your energy right now. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more titles with his energy. Is that cool with you? He's like, yeah, that's a great idea. And he's already like elevated. His energy's really high. So then we redid the first 2 again. And then literally the camera died like right at the end. And we're like, bam, we're like right on the dot. So we nailed it.
And just a couple of questions on that, because how long did it take him to record all those 20 plus videos?
With me, it took us couple hours.
Yeah, and then so you end up with 20 videos, 20 pieces of content that you can basically repurpose across multiple platforms, right?
Exactly. So with him, for example, we just started because he didn't even have a TikTok account, so we had to make one for him, and he only had an Insta. And here, I'm going to share my screen again. Present, share screen, and let me go to this one, share. So we started. So he still has a social media person doing all of these graphics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're starting to sprinkle in some of these videos. So we started with just the conversational ones, so not the ones with the CTA, just to like warm up his account a little bit. We started with this one.
Type of love and admiration and respect for family combined with law school. It all came together during a couple of classes. I took an elder law class, I took an estate planning class. My whole career of 25 years has been devoted to helping families and seniors deal with these aging and elder care issues. I've never done anything else. So attorneys join a certain practice of law. Oh, I want to be a personal injury attorney. I want to be a divorce attorney. I've always wanted to be an elder care attorney. I just never knew it. I don't say I chose elder law. I've always said elder law has chosen me based on just my life experiences and my desire to help families. That type of love.
So there you go. That's the conversational one. And then now we're starting to, and then just to give you a little bit more here, we have the social media template. I can also share this with you guys if you want, which is basically having a system to, can you see this tab? Or are you still on the other one?
We're still on his Instagram tab.
Okay, so I think I have to go now here, present, share screen. I think
I'll tell you, Brian's going to end up with a few clients just from this video.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Yeah. No, Brian is oh my gosh. Like I was crying with him on the like I don't know if you heard his quiver there on that last one, but he was like he was about to cry. So what we do here is the video link is on here. So the social media manager, he has a social media manager, so I'm working with her. If you don't have a social media manager, we just do it for you. But you would click on the link. This is the video. It's in the Google Drive, so you have to download it and then post it manually. But then it has the, for example, here, you kind of have to play with the cells a little bit, but it would have the post ready. So she just needs to go ahead and copy paste this, right? So copy, paste into the post, and then I have this little. So who's the owner? So for the sake of this exercise, I have them all as I'm the owner until Casey is gonna post it, and then she just starts like check marking these. We just started. Actually, she didn't check mark these, but she should have. So she should have check marked these, and then that's it. So with Anthony, we have another. He has a social media manager too, and then she starts posting them, whether they're conversational or scripted or repurposed. We don't do too much repurposing. I find it that they're just not as potent. I feel conversational and scripted are way more potent. And then she just goes ahead and puts a check mark on it when it was posted, and then here are all the videos that we did. So
you make sure that you have the time and date so they're not rotated too frequently or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So when they went live and they're check marked, and if they are scheduled, because within Facebook groups and Facebook pages, you can schedule. Like Facebook has a scheduling thing,
right?
And I think Instagram just started doing that too. I think you can actually schedule on Instagram too. So depending if it's scheduled or not, we either put a little calendar emoji on it or a check mark emoji on it.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, I can share that with you guys as well if you want. And the framework. And yeah, I want you guys to be able to do it on your own if necessary. And maybe we can do, Frederick, if you want in the future, we can schedule another call and then maybe have folks that sign up to actually do it live inside a Zoom room, and then do breakout rooms, and then they can like interview each other. And that's what we did in Angela's group, and it worked really well. Like we had folks that have never been on video, and they were actually be able to create like 3 videos in like a half an hour, and post it at least one right there on the call. It's like, let's post it. Like it was good. It was heartfelt, and as long as it's heartfelt, you should post it. And they did, and they got a bunch of views, and it was like, oh my god, this was easier than I thought. So for those folks that are just the beginning stages and they haven't been able to get themselves on camera, we can certainly help them. And if you're way more advanced and you want to scale and you just want somebody to do it for you and with you, we can do that as well.
Juanpa, this has been incredible. You've really given us a ton. If those of you who've been watching and still watching, you just joined, whatever, drop a 1 in the comments if this has been super valuable for you. I'll also drop your takeaways. What's been one of the most powerful takeaways that you have? A tip, a new perspective, whatever. Drop that in the comments as well, so we can share this. It will really help to drive this algorithm in the group as well, so other people can see it. Juanpa, you've given us so much, man. Let people know how they can get in contact with you if they want to work with you. Obviously, we're going to have the downloads that you're going to send as well. But how can people connect with you, man?
Man, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that so much. And so, I mean, easiest way is probably Facebook. I'm Juanpa Otalora, just like on my name, on my screen name here. And for those that are wondering what Juanpa is it means Juan Pablo, which means John Paul in Spanish. So Juanpa Otalora. Just search me in Facebook or Instagram too. I'm Instagram. I think I'm just Juanpa as well. I think I just changed it recently. I'm Juanpa Otalora, same thing. And I'm not really on LinkedIn, but I'm going to start. But really, just Facebook and Instagram. Find me at either one.
Awesome. And he's a member here in the 7-Figure Circle, $1 Million Mastermind as well. So you can search him in the group and send him a DM. Stalk him on Instagram, follow him everywhere. Like nobody doesn't need more followers, so he's not gonna block you for following him.
Reach out on the DMs. Like send me a DM. I mean, if you follow me, I'll definitely contact you as well. But if you want to just get in contact with me right away, send me a DM and join the Video Profits community. I have a Video Profits community in there, and I'm dropping trainings there all the time as well. Speaking from the heart. This is so cool. I love this. I got to get on the StreamYard thing. Heart connecting yourself and able to connect with audience. Yes, 100%. They will feel it.
Good stuff, man. I really, really appreciate you. We actually went over 25 extra minutes. So you people got, on top of the free masterclass, you got 25 minutes of extra value. And I think the last 25 minutes might have been as good as the entire hour before. So I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate your generosity. I appreciate your spirit and your heart. The aspect of talking about a spiritual practice just shows that you are not just here to make money. You're not just here to build this big agency or try and make people celebrities. You really want to help people and impact them by helping them to actually be the best version of themselves, and then to be able to share that through video. I think it's incredible. I really appreciate you.
Appreciate your words, brother. Appreciate your energy. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you, all of you who are watching. If you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay. Let us know what was your key takeaway, what was most valuable for you as well. Thanks to Charlie, to Kelly, to San, to Facebook user, because some of you still didn't let us know who your name is. But we appreciate all of you as well. All right. My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey. For Juanpa Otalora, we want to thank you. And as always, ever forward. Awesome, man. That was incredible. Great job.